Ladies and Germans, how you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
This is Rangroo. Hello, hello, hello.
And folks, today we are on Shchedrin, bringing you some top quality action from Hussar.
Left hand side in the blue, we have Mimile playing 20th Panzer with a Maverick income. Right hand side in red, we have Insha playing Army Group Krajowa, also with a Maverick income.
You know, I find this kind of interesting. We often see recon planes being brought in, but what you don't tend to see is you don't tend to see interceptors being brought in quite this early.
Yeah, it's just quite an interesting play, and it's quite funny as well. The Interceptor's having a hard time intercept this IL-2, which is kind of his entire job, especially with 2-star veterancy.
The irony of that was the IL-2 was actually trying to be the aggressor on that, and the BF-109, I think, was realizing there's no point to trying to have a head-to-head when I'm going against the flying tank.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when he's rocking those 23mm cannons. Watch this. The BF-109 is going to take... I was waiting for it to die immediately.
Wow.
I was waiting for it.
What a brilliant air battle, but looking on the ground, we're seeing up north, we're going for standard Flammenwerfer and, favorite unit, Ersatztruppen, being slapped on through, and then down south real fast. Pretty even, really. Oh, but in the center, there we go. There's the play. Insha going across the valley, up the hill, and into the lung.
And when you have Ochos, unfortunately, he only actually has 3 Ochos, so more like a trio, I guess, with a bunch of other supporting infantry. But kind of interesting to see how the 20th Panzer really tries to push this back. But a good way to do this, actually, is to bring up the Flampanzer, as we are seeing here. That at least can be relatively good, until, of course, they get close to those Sturm groups that were basically the Germans with Polish uniforms.
Yes. It's always funny, Carson Army Group Krajowa, because you don't see them enough. So all these unit names are just completely foreign. It's like, oh yeah, that's the STG unit. Oh, that's the Molotov unit. Yes, I know some of these things.
Yeah. Well, that's why like the Okorkraga I butchered that, of course. Well,
bless you.
Exactly. With the Cobra style regiment, to me, there's you're right. I look at these and I really should learn how to say this, but we see it so rarely that I would probably need to learn the Romanians and the Finnish stuff first. But 20th Panzer has its own kind of Beute material as well, though, too. We have the 76-2 up north that captures Zist, that's just kind of pounding that hilltop position, which is, I think, supremely necessary because those tanks and vehicles are not going to be able to take it by themselves.
Indeed, and that's definitely a very good pounding he is inflicting on that hill, having the radio net, that's the F-22, I believe, not this. The Russian 76 doesn't really matter, all both bloody the same. He's doing a good bloody job pounding that hill. Flam pounds are rust on through, try to get the hit. It feels like here at Mimile's going to need a little bit of extra on-troop firepower here if he wants to take his hills. There's still quite a lot of Poles left alive.
Yes, but the Feldkanoner 288 is putting down enough firepower to push back, actually, that Zuka troop, which was almost able to kill that P3. Which, not for nothing, would have actually been a very, very big loss early on, because that P3, recon, optics, excellent firepower, of course. And now we have a second Flampanzer being brought to the north, so he's pretty much tapping himself very quickly on the Flampanzers. There's been 2 to the north, 1 to the south, and 1 to the center? 1 to the center. He's pretty much tapped after this. I can't help but wonder if maybe the Flampanzers would have been better served actually in the town down south. I feel like that would have been extremely deadly by comparison.
Oh, yeah. If he could maneuver him around, they can definitely do quite a bit of work. He has a decent amount of anti-tank down here, unfortunately, so I think it would limit mobility a bit. But I do like how he is bringing a lot of them up early on, as they're definitely a unit which gets most value in the early game when there's not a whole lot of anti-tank on the field. And I think this one coming into the center should do decent work, as there's not a whole lot of anti-tank here. The problem is, once again, he really needs more boots on the ground and more infantry to clear up the pose.
Well, I think he's trying to do that. I think we have the 3 Ersatztruppen with the Pioneer SVTs. There's another squad that's already on the hilltop. I think this is a concerted push that could be, reach a rather excellent outcome here. North side, by the way, P3 does go down. I don't know if that's the 37mm or if it was the Shrek team. But it was somebody. The P3 is down. So that's a big loss, I think, to Mimile in this early game.
Yeah, but so far Insha is doing pretty damn good. They got the 13-11, still holding on to that lung position and just locking it down like Warsaw. It's definitely his best play for now. And the town, of course, it's actually... We usually see people, you know, in our recent casts just kind of fully capture the town one way or the other, but it is quite contested still.
It is, but at the same time, you see those plumes of smoke. Those all used to be German fighting vehicles, including a P3 of them, which, again, another Shrek team was able to kill. This air/trooping squad just barely got out in time, but that's the consistent message here. Good luck fighting these guys back. You're just getting pounded every which way to Sunday. And what's this? I see artillery coming in from the Poles now, too. The 75 mils, the Haubitzas, kind of firing up to the northern side. Aiming for that 76-2, aiming for that MG42. There's a lot of twos on the field, and most of them are going to get dropped on and have just a deuce fall down on top of their head.
Yeah, so. No, it's definitely a good call bringing in some of that Polish artillery, because that's really the one thing you want with Polish Home Army is to make sure your infantry stays alive. That's, you know, the main bread and butter of the entire bloody division. So being able to knock out those deadly artillery guns and maintain infantry advantage, because he does have the better infantry, especially in CQC. He wants to make sure, well, his dudes just don't get blapped from high explosive shells.
True. Now checking in the lungs for a second. The SS trooping cleaning up maybe some PRC in the northern side, but taking fire from the Cobra style over here in the meantime. Ocho's down south. I mean, the necessary flag has been retaken, so it is 13-11 as opposed to that 14-10. I think we're seeing now, yep, some Junkers and some of those lovely little napalm biplanes out on the map.
I know that, like, proper bombs, but once again, I always feel like it's just like World War I pilots chucking the bombs off the cockpit.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's just like, okay, guys, and everyone have your Molotov cocktail and throw!
Drinks down below.
Now, one of those to the northern side's not going to see a whole lot of action here, but I can't help but wonder he got brought in because the Germans were going to know there's going to be intercept attempted from that Yak-9.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not allowed to have... Whoa, I'm sorry, I got distracted here by the fact that we have a flak on the eastern lung, and then we have a battery of machine guns, because that's the only appropriate thing to term that. 2 MG42s and 2 Maxims.
Yeah, I really actually quite like that a lot, and especially now bringing in the officer to up that him quite heavily. He has lost that long position, but it's going to be, well, hell to pay if Mimile tries to do something similar, well, with infantry on his end of the field.
That's very, very true. Down south, I have to kind of bring your attention back to this. You said about the fact that the town usually gets completely taken over. Well, let's just say that there's a rising tide, but it is not blue.
No.
Is going to be a vague attempt to bring back air such trooping to kind of walk point, as well as some more napalm for the town. But I don't care how hot you make that town. There's a lot of Poles in there. I don't think that's going to be going their way anytime soon. Their way being the Germans, of course.
Yeah, this is a pretty big breakthrough here. I think the main saving grace for Mimile is just the 2 Panzer IIIs. It's at long range. The German infantry and tanks do provide quite a nice advantage. I'd be curious to see if Insha is able to capture the southern flag in the town. It's going to be a little bit hard to take, I think, just because of the open field surrounding it. So he might just have to dig into the 2 central flags.
That's entirely possible. Although we are seeing, you said about the fact that it's great they're still able to kind of go and engage, i.e. those P3s. But please remember, there's still a lot of Panzerfausts in the field. Heck, there's PTRDs on there that can crit out those P3s and P4s. And not for nothing, there's still that Shrek team in the back.
And there's a Panzer IV now being brought in from the Poles, so...
Exactly.
Yeah, you do have those few German tanks available, and keeping them alive is going to be very important here if he can maneuver them around effectively to get those long-range engagements on his, well, former friends. Oh, the Junkers, yo, might actually just... Wow.
Close. That was oddly close. But 37 mils. So you get 2 37 mils, got a pack 50. Well, I mean, a 50 millimeter. And another Shrek team as well. So these P3s, they're going to go and get a lot of initial territory, and they are going to die very, very quickly.
Yeah, the Poles are just very good at CQC and really luring the Germans into the trap. I mean, Mimile, he really wants to probably try to engage in more long-range firefights, as whereas infantry and tanks really do start to shine, while meat grinder town fights like this. I mean, 20th Panzer, you do have a decent selection of infantry, but really not enough CQC troops to really go toe-to-toe with the pose.
Certainly not until Phase C, and at that point, of course, with the Maverick income, if it's C phase, what are you doing? So.
Hopefully you've already run.
That is a very, very good hope, but I think also a very, very misbegotten one, unfortunately. One of the P3s already going down that pack. Like I said, in the back, the pack 38 is going to claim a second kill here.
Yeah, okay. 100%.
For now, he's forced back, but there's a kill coming. In any case, still 13-11. You know, the lung is now more or less that 50-yard line that we're used to seeing.
Yeah, like the northern side has really stabilized quite a lot now since we've looked at it before, and this is perfect for Insha. He has a fantastic defensive line. There's really no reason for him to aggress past this point, as he's dug in on those hilltop fortifications.
Now, I wanted to kind of go just quickly call something out. There was a BF-109, and just kind of making my point made, IL-2 head-to-head takes out the BF-109 interceptor. So, recon plane with the 23mm cannons, yeah, that is more than enough, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, Insha's honestly doing quite surprisingly good, maintaining not complete air supremacy, but at least contesting it. Especially as the Polish Home Army is you only get one card of Flak 20s in this case, so it's going to be quite difficult. Or really have to use, a few fighters, a few fighters and IL-2s available to knock out that German air power.
The German air power, of which 33% of it is biplanes in the last war. Now, I suppose when you say air power, it also counts the guys going
yeah,
like just going behind and making the noise.
The guys in the gliders still doing training.
Yeah, it's about one step up of actually using coconuts to kind of indicate an engine, isn't it?
Advanced German technology. It's the stuff they don't show you on the History Channel.
Oh god, no, actually they do. That's the after midnight specials.
Yeah. Look at its bell. They've tried to make it fly.
Now, the Poles not content to sit with that 50-yard line with the lungs, are going to go and throw back 4 more squads over the point here on the right-hand side, from right to left, that is. And a Junker's being brought on in, weapons jammed. If there's a bomb that's being jammed in the first place, I need to heavily rethink my life decisions.
Like, how do you even get jam up at high?
Exactly.
I usually have a hard time getting on my toast, to be honest with you.
But you do know it's very effective. When you put jam on toast, you know it's going to fall jam side down.
Yeah.
That's just science. That's just science. So while the Poles are going to go and aggress and be taken back, that's the left-hand lung, because all that's there is a single air such troop and a vastly understrength SVT squad. I'm not even going to count the half-track at this point. Down south, the 20th Panzer is trying to find a way into this town. And I don't know if there's a way to do that other than just to play Call of Duty, because right now I feel like they've got to just throw themselves at defenses and hope. After they've gone forward on veteran difficulty for 25 minutes and gotten frustrated and killed their mouths, that they finally get through.
Yeah, because it's just a constant respawning enemy and they keep throwing the grenade. God, COD 4 veteran was hell on earth. Same Road of War. But yes, I think the main problem, the main problem here, just looking at the position, the Germans are kind of taking a bit of an L because they're having to attack his southern side as well through his small narrow corridor. And the Poles just have a very good position, providing fire support from multiple angles here, and they got all the anti-tank guns dug in. Frankly, this is, a case where if Mimile had an off-map artillery unit, which he doesn't, he has rare famines, this is the place you'd want to use it. You just need to stun everything up and then blitzkrieg through.
Something that is stunning is the 3 Ocho squads that are going, just dashing across with such elan across the open field in front of the P3s. Not a great idea in the long term, but I suppose it does give your friends time to get up and get loaded. And I think we're going to see that Shrek team bounce out of that house. Yep, we're going to see it. He's going to pick up the P3. Here it comes. Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
No, he went for the half-track instead. That was an interesting decision they've gotten.
His efforts were sabotaged.
Ooh. Ooh.
I don't know. We're here all night, folks.
Please don't adjust your TV sets. I'm sorry.
It'll get better, I swear.
No. I think the people at this point know it's been, what, 4 years? It's only going to get worse. So Boy to Stalin's on the northern side. So Papa Stalin apparently trying to go and show his displeasure with the Poles. Unfortunately for him, he's not imbued with the power of communism anymore, so I don't really know how effective he's going to be. Along a similar vein, actually, I'm surprised he only has that same kind of ammo shortage. You would think the Germans would be like, you know what? We're going to put more ammo in there. Why? Because you're you.
Yeah, it's still a pretty trifling amount, mainly just used as a high explosive platform. But no, it's gonna be a tough position for Mimile to really push up on. I mean, that bloody hill is very well defended. You got the machine guns set up on the other hill here. And the problem, once again, is he just doesn't really have the fire support backing up his infantry, albeit, artillery fire support, really, in this case, or, heckload of bombs to stress out these mass Polish positions.
Speaking of RT, though, down south we are going to see a wee bit of an artillery strike, just 152s, nothing huge per se. And I think we're going to see the Poles really try to take the entirety of that town.
Yeah, they're very determined, and honestly, considering just Mimile's really overextended himself in this town, I think he's reached a lot of time here, especially important time in his B phase of trying to push an area which is just geographically not in his advantage. I'd really like to see him push the southern central area, just try to go out in the open, take advantage of the lack of Polish long-range anti-tank, and try to make a tank battle happen, bruv.
Exactly. 20th Panzer is named Panzer for a reason. Along a similar vein, there's actually another 152 up to the northern side, and I find myself wondering, will we in fact... Ju-87 making a run, and doesn't lose a single bomb. He actually didn't get stressed out until after the dive.
You think the pilot has the common decency just to, panic press the bomb button at that point, but no.
No, and unlike that, the IL-2 going the other direction says, aha, I may not be a night witch, but I can be terrifying, and blows lots of rockets looking for that Boy to Stalin, and the second one comes in and takes him out. So that is a huge loss.
Yeah, very effective use, and killing your IS-2 is it's pretty fundamental, because that's the only real heavy tank which Mimile does have. And I forgot also, Insha does have actually a few heavy tanks, a couple Panthers and a Tiger, which now, considering the Boy to Stalin has now Boyton de Dust.
That one was good. That one was good.
There's not going to be much threat from those Panthers and Tigers now.
Oh, man. So, funny thing is, northern side, we're actually seeing P3L to P3N wrapping around this hilltop position. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't realize it's a Kubis. And the Kubis
Oh, no.
Yeah, here comes. Here comes. The deadly PI.
The Sod's long-lost Trin.
Oh, no.
No! Come on! You can do it! You can do it! You can do it!
There we go.
Yes!
There we go. And he dies getting shot in the ass by the P3N.
MVP of the match automatically, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Now, Storm Pioneer's on the actual top of the hilltop here, and the P3N is going to go and be able to slide in and around. So the question is, can the pack, force into a fallback? That's going to be hard.
No. This is a really lovely flankage. Just a little bit of maneuvers we're seeing with those tanks has gone a long way. He's managed to get behind the infantry. I'd say he's going to catch a retreat, but this 37mm is repositioning. But even so far, the Panzer IIIN has caused quite a bit of damage.
But the funny thing is that... wait. Oh, I thought that bypass actually cost something. It was like 1917 all over. But the funny thing is, the reason that got as successful as it was, that they're actually getting over Hamburger Hill here, is because that 37mm wasn't positioned well enough in the first place. So...
And now he's not positioned at all, because he is dead. But we are seeing Mimile is pretty close to taking his hill. He just lacks the final few infantry, and so he does not lack a Verf famine, and the Verf famine will Verf all over that hill. We'll see if he gets his Verf out of it.
Did you like sit down and write material before you got on tonight? Because I feel like, whew, oh man.
I know.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what a stand-up Canadian does in his spare time. Great work. But the 280s dropping down on that infantry on the northern side, and they do very, very good work. The Schwat over here manages to survive that very, very strange cluster bombing, which didn't seem to do very much.
No, he's just doing some target practice, it seems. Same with the IL-2 shooting down the biplane.
That might be the case, but he was bombing the same way I used to bomb when I was playing Ancient Art of War in the Skies as a kid. Smash my head on the spacebar and drop all the bombs instantly until it goes boom, and maybe you do well.
The War Thunder strategy. It's like I'm flying over base, I'm being shot out by like 7 different planes. Space, I need ERP.
Exactly. Yeah, I realized after I said the Ancient Art of War in the Skies, I realized, wait a second, there's about 3 people out there who know what I'm talking about.
IO2 1946?
No, so literally it's called Ancient Art of War in the Skies. Beautiful game for the time. It was like Windows 95 level kind of stuff. Oh, it was so good as a kid. And now you know how old I am.
Yeah. Definitely age yourself, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Carbon dating myself, not even just dating myself. Now, tons and tons of peak runs being brought on in because we are into Phase C. So here's the weird thing, because there's party squads we can bring over here from the Poles. There's tons of peak runs we can see over here from the Germans. And the 152 off-map, he's still alive, so he can drop another quick barrage down there if he needs to. But the P-Guns are starting to be very, very gutsy in their deployments. And I don't know if I really like that.
I don't like it either. That machine gun hill is just absolutely brutal. The Schrott, and also a Panther G being brought enough, and that Panther G can set up on the plateau. I mean, it's just common sense what's going to happen. It's going to snipe all the German material and make the Germans quite confused.
Look, it's one of ours.
He's flanking.
Exactly. How'd he get behind there? I don't know. Give him the wig wag. But here we go. So, I mean, there's one machine gun went down, but the MG42 has a brilliant fire position on that kind of eastern plateau, which is great. And now they got the 75 mils that are also engaging, that the party troops that are kind of sliding up to the northern side. And here we go. I love this. Insha is forcing an interaction and a reaction on that left lung.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just perfect. He's really done a great job so far in this match, just maintaining momentum. He's definitely been a run forcing Mimile to just react to his plays. And even though his lung pushes don't work, I mean, he keeps getting pushed back in this case by a single P3, it is going to be forcing Mimile to send units down there, which really, dampers his northern push.
Yes, they do. Now, one thing I actually am surprised. Okay, yeah, the 152 is reorienting. Watch the 152 off map is going to go and start putting rounds onto that hilltop. We're also going to see another IL-2. Yep, IL-2 is going to try to find that half-track support. Gonna kill at least one of them for sure. And this Hetzer swinging around to engage the P4 as well. So, yeah, it's 2 for 2.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. IL-2 also coming in, the Scout IL-2, engaging that PaK-40. Kind of humorously enough, you really shouldn't worry about that too much, considering the PaK-40 actually has no HE left.
Damn, he's been quite a busy boy. And the Rough Ammon's roughing? What's he roughing? Oh, he's a roughing hill?
Lung position.
Oh, yeah. Gonna be giving it some black lung.
And, and it's a reasonable barrage. Let's be fair. But the Panzer on the hill is still dead. And the Ochos, they can bring in a ton more Ochos. That's fine. Now you have a maximum... Oh, jeez. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I know. But once again, that was a reactive play, not a proactive run. That was to clear off the hill so he'll have some breathing room. That's a Wolfram strike, which fortunately, wasn't used up north to try to secure Mimile's advantage here, which he is slowly losing because these Panzer Grenadiers do not have the Ocho.
Well, here's kind of the funny thing, too. It's not often that you see the left-hand squads, left side, fighting west and the right-hand side fighting east. We have Ochos fighting from the left lung to the right lung. And we have P-Guns fighting from the right lung to the left lung. And we are all kinds of messed up today here, folks.
Yeah, this is pretty crazy, but yeah, the Panzer Grenadiers is losing out in that long-range firefight, not having the cover, and the machine gun team should get back here and get operational sometime shortly.
Schwat, in the meantime, actually survives an entire Ju-87 bombing run.
Wow,
which I
good
find,
for him.
Yeah, it's one of those moments where it's like, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but who cares? And 2 quick artillery strikes being dropped down here. So I wonder if this short one is dropped to kind of shield, or if it's kind of trying to force him back to make sure he gets caught in the bigger one, the more concentrated one, in 20 seconds.
Yeah. I think it's more of also just like emergency defense to make sure he doesn't lose that all-important lung tip. And yeah, the second one here. Oh no, the Panzer Force are backing off. He's not going to get them, unfortunately.
Yes, in the words of Chief Bast from New Hope, we have analyzed their attack and there is a danger. And these guys have decided that evacuating in the moment of triumph is a very good idea, which I highly support. And you can see right now, they avoid the worst of the barrage.
Yeah. And that Panzer IV blob is going to be extremely important here for Mimile to, continue extending his power. I mean, once we get into C phase, which we already are, it's going to be very hard to rebuy units like that. However, there's still a lot of IL-2 clusters, and we know what they like to do to blobs of tanks.
We also see what they'll do to infantry as well with all these napalm.
Oh.
So that's rough. I've never really had barbecued sauerkraut before, but that might be what happens right there.
And here comes the IL-2 rocket. Oh, that rocket's on clusters. Anyway, still getting some pretty good hits.
And when we weren't looking at that northern hilltop, look how much freaking Polish infantry is on top of that. It's like as if as if it never even happened.
Yeah, that's just insane how quickly Insha can just throw in another platoon of Poles every minute or so. He's just been trading so effectively, CQC, because these Ochos, they really don't have that crazy of a weapon loadout, but there's a lot of them, and they have Molotovs, which are, they're Molotovs. You can't go wrong with Molotovs. The Finns really knew it there during making that weapon.
That's true. That's true. They were making a sign of peace, love, and friendship to the Soviet people.
Yeah.
Ju-87 coming in for a third one, and misses completely.
Damn. Just can't shrot him.
No, you cannot. And I think that might be the 5th one of those tonight, man.
Yeah, we're on a roll here.
That's true.
Get your bingo cards out, guys.
The free space will be, well, there's one guy out there, insert random German name here. BF-109 is going to go and make a gun run over here on that right-hand hilltop. And we're seeing right now, all that's left of the Grand Machine Gun Battery is a captured MG-42. But he's still chattering away. Dude, he must be so cold considering how much he's chattering. Verframen is going for the hilltop one more time. So this might be not so much the last push, but it's going to be a devastating one for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we're really getting to the point, once you get into late C phase, where that income really starts to bite you in the arse in regards to being able to get in reinforcements here. But fantastic strike. The Crescent is Roman Mill be able to fully consolidate after this. He can't just contest the hill. He needs it completely cleared.
And I don't think he'll be able to do that. There's one PTRD squad that is going to go and get taken out. He might be able to kill. No, he will not. Somehow, despite the fact that he's less than 50 yards away.
Jump.
Yikes. So, watch an artillery strike be brought down here within, let's say 15, 20 seconds. And in the meantime, also IL-2 squad being brought back in, looking for this P4. So there's also a PaK 75 that's still there, just kind of chilling, waiting for his time. Humorously, the P4s will be going completely underneath his guns the entire way through.
Oh yeah, it's a risky maneuver. I actually quite like his trying to open up the flank somewhere else, but he's really exposed himself. Oh, he's going to go up the hill? Oh, yeah, yes. I think he's going to go up the hill.
No, he's actually going further south. So here's the interesting thing. We talk very often about line of sight, but that is one of the weird line of sight quirks about this map, is that unless you're within about, call it what, 100 meters maybe of the slope on either side, you really can't see anything down in that saddle. It's actually shockingly good. Yes, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm.
No, it's just very good cover. Like, it's you can do some surprise maneuvers, yeah.
Oh, and that northern push, by the way, it's pretty much dead. It's gonna be a 14-10 in about probably 15 seconds.
I'm not surprised here at all.
Yikes.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine retreating into that.
Not fun.
No.
I would avoid that. I'll just give up at that point. Be like, yeah, you know, I'll take chances in the POW camp in the massive artillery barrage.
Fourth time's a charm? Fourth time's a charm! The Schwat finally gets schwatted. But he goes down. In the meantime, P4 is doing their thing in the center, but it's 14-10, so it's got 6 minutes before life really gets awful. And that's when the Führer kind of sent you to the far eastern front to supervise the Japanese war plans from a plane.
Yes, a one-way plane.
Exactly. Yeah, pretty sure that's not what they meant when they said it's a one-way trip.
Yeah.
Oh, and
they're really going to feel the wind.
And the flying tanks, one of those finally goes down.
Oh, wow. It's quite rarity.
Yes, indeed. Now, the P4s are going to go and slide down just like you were talking about, so he's listening, he's doing what you want him to do. Unfortunately, there's also going to be Zis-3s that are getting brought on in that are just going to go and turn the thing into dog meat.
Yeah, that is quite a shame, because this is... I really wish Mimile was being a little bit more proactive throughout this match, because it's really been screwing them over, just having to be constantly reactive to Insha's plays here. Because as we're seeing, just a surprise Panzer IV push is making decent territory. He doesn't have a whole lot back up, not a whole lot of recon, because he's run out of it, because he only had a single P3 recon card. And yeah, these Zis-3s, they got perfect line of sight.
That's one. Second one here is, will he be 2 for 2 is the question. Yes, he is. And this last one's going to hobble on forward, and the P4 is, of course, bolting in the other direction. And I kind of wondering if the Haubitze over here, the 1897 gun, is going to be able to actually penetrate, because technically he shouldn't be able to, but if you give him just a little bit of a side skirt, just a wee bit, could be kind of interesting there. But, you know, I don't want to go and jinx it here, but I think we might be seeing the end of Mimile. Do you want to take this 2 times 2 at like 32, let's call it 45?
Sounds good.
Well, folks.
45, yeah.
Yeah, 45, yes, sir. Verframen is going to go engage the northern side, but here we're going to a times 2. He's looking to go after the hilltop one more time. This is that last chance, Charlie kind of movement. Which I don't know if it's a phrase or not, but it sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh, he apparently is only firing 3 rounds because he wants to save the last of Kaboom for himself. Which is very, very jealous.
So emergency Kaboom.
Exactly. In case of emergency, press Kaboom. Pigrins have been able to get onto the eastern lung at long last. Unfortunately, they're not going to go anywhere else after that, since especially there's that one P4 being engaged at long range by both of those Zis guns, and he at long last does go down as well.
Damn. The 902's dropping in that hot stuff, and yeah. Damn. That's pretty much going to be it.
Well, and I respect the surrender on that, because the tap on that, it was over.
100%. Yeah, the KD is actually pretty brutal. Yeah, 1,500 difference. Really, like, Insha played it just like how you should with the home army. You dig up an annoying CQC, not so much urban, but forestry positions, and just really make the enemy pay to attack your position.
Well, and unsung heroes today were those Shrek teams. I count 7 kills so far from them. 8 vehicle kills, 9, 10 vehicle kills, 11 vehicle kills. Yeah, punching above their weight like crazy. That doesn't count the PTRD teams, which, you know, forgive me at the same time, but like 11 vehicle kills on squads that apiece cost how much again? That's right, 25 points.
Yeah, that's very effective. Like, you really want to be making a lot of use of those Panzer Shrek squads, and the army Krajowa Pound strikes were great because you do get that extra HP on him.
Looking at the German side, you have to tap the Verframen over here for being a rather Gregorian kind of chap. And unfortunately, that P3N, despite getting one kill on the Ochos, the only thing he kind of did was just cocked it up. Yeah, mine not quite as good, but we'll get there. It's late. We'll have Thursday. But no, like you said, Insha brilliantly played that kind of matchup, and unfortunately, I think Mimile just was caught on the back foot early and just kept finding himself pushed onto that back foot.
Yeah, he just really probably could have picked some better terrain to fight over and trying to fight the urban defense division in the urban defense position.
You mean a better hill to die on, as it were?
Yes.
Well, in that case, folks, hopefully we'll see a better hill to die on over here on Thursday, but let's not go and disregard the effort in either case. So, well done, Insha. Better luck next time, Mimile. For us, though, I think that's it for today. So, until next time, I'm Con Olberg.
I'm Rangroo. Take it easy.